So we're at an exciting point in the building of the CaSela. We've got our panels together, we've got our snare system holder on the cajon fixed inside, and now we're going to put it together to make our cube or rectangle so that we can then see the cajon coming together, coming to life. And basically it's just a tongue and groove thing again, exactly the same vibe. You just have to kind of shugle it around, as we say in Scotland, till it fits. So just make sure I get my groove, my tongue and groove together. Give it a bit of a pop on both sides. At this point you're going to need to just make sure that you've got everything lined up nice, so that you, because once you screw it in, then it's screwed in. So give it a few pushes just to make sure everything's nice and square. Sometimes you might see that it kind of pokes out a little bit at the end. Try and get it as flush as you can, and that way you're not going to have problems when you put the front plate on. It's not like laser accurate because you're building it with your hands, but you want to make sure that you've got it for the most part completely flush with itself on the corners there. So there we got it, starting to look like a cajon. So now I'm just going to put the screws in here and get this screwed together. So here I've got my my main structure of my cajon. It's gone together beautifully. When I was screwing it together finally, I just want to make sure that I stress the point, just make sure that you get it flush and you get it tight in when you screw it, because you don't want to screw it in and then find that you've got a big gap somewhere. So yeah, it's looking good. I'm happy with the way it's come together. It's been fun so far. Now, what I like to do next is either you can put the front or the back on, it doesn't really matter. What I normally do though is I put the front on first, so that I can see that if I need to get to the snare system to mess around with it, then I can do that easily. So I'm going to take my beautiful CaSela front plate, or satin nut front plate, it's the satin nut version, and I'm going to place this on the top here. So I've just brought you in a little closer here so you can see how we're going to do this. It's really not that hard, but we're going to take the light screws, or the silver screws here, and we're going to use them for the outside, for the front and for the back. So I'll just splay them out there on the table. And now as well, when we were putting together the structure of the cajon, the side and the bottom and the top and all that, we made sure everything was flush and everything was nice and even. And it's especially important with the front plate. You want to make sure that you really have a good look to make sure that you've got it fitting nicely on the front and symmetrical and all of that kind of stuff. This was the components were accurately machined so that everything fits together. You shouldn't have any problems, but just make sure that you're always keeping an eye on how you're going with your symmetry of the cajon. So I'm going to start at the top here, and I'm going to put one in the side top corner, which is what I like to do, and I make sure that yep, that looks good to me. Now I'm going to go to the opposite corner here. This is kind of how I like to do it. Everyone's got their own thing, but I kind of feel like it makes sure that that it's nice and stable for putting in the rest of the screws. There we go. That looks pretty symmetrical to me. Great. Now I'm going to put in the rest of the screws.